Hello, my name is Morgan Gray, and welcome back to the Afrocentric podcast.
Keep it platinum, never change on me. Heard they poster got some change on you. You go platinum, family change on you. Office platinum, spawn some change on. I never stress on them touching me. Think about it before you run up on me. Some say that they don't fuck with me, probably cause they cannot fuck with me. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, maliki yawmiddin, yeah. Iyaka na'budu wa iyaka nasta'in. إذن صراط مستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. الله أكبر.
We don't funk with racism. We don't funk with people who don't support the LGBTQ plus community. And baby, we damn sure don't funk with anybody who don't love a beautiful black queen, baby. You see this tape.
You don't let nobody act black and then go home and be white.
It only takes a little bit of white brainwash to activate the coon chip in the average Negro.
And a lot of white folk have demonstrated eloquently that they don't have no sense.
Someone comes up and says something like, I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you.
And we are back with the Afrocentric podcast. You won't believe who I got in the building today. I got motherfucking Mac Sallis in the motherfucking building. Speak to him.
Hey, what's up with it, y'all?
Tell everybody who you are, what you do, and just give a rundown.
Well, all I can say is who I am personally is an independent entrepreneur in the making. Because of the reason I say that is we all need to realize that we need to work for ourselves and make something happen and stand up to what we're supposed to be.
That's real. I like that. So the topic of today, the episode is called The Black Man is God. And today we're going to be talking about the 5% Nation. We're going to be talking about the Nation of Islam, as well as a lot of ideology, myths, fucking conspiracy theories, all types of shit. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you.
Okay.
Yo, we're going to get into some shit. I'm ready. All right, so my first question is what is the 5% Nation?
Well, from my understanding is the 5% Nation is a group of people that are righteous teachers they used to be Muslims, or I could say part of Islam. And what they do is really they just teach they are righteous teachers or priests. They are teaching the lessons of how to discipline yourself, how to be strong mentally, and just being really like Allah or God all around, you know what I'm saying? High vibrations.
Okay, so how did you find yourself in this?
How can I start? Really, I can say that I come from a Christian background. Obviously, my daddy, he's a minister.
Not you a PK.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, come on, I'm ready. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, no, Church of God in Christ.
Told you.
Yeah, my brother, he's a Hebrew Israelite. At one point in time, I was studying to the Nation of Islam, but then I started to realize like that their disciplinary is too strict for people liking, you know.
Okay, explain it. What about the Nation of Islam is too strict? Is it like the praying 5 times a day? Is it the diet? What is it?
Well, all can I say is it mainly like strict behavior wise. You don't have much freedom, you know. You can't really just be a realist at the same time. You have to really believe deep into that belief. But as in when you're a 5% Nation, you have the freedom to believe what you want to believe in and think more metaphorically.
Well, that's a good point. I understand that the 5% Nation, the reason why they split from the Nation of Islam is because they don't want to be seen as a religion. It's more of a lifestyle.
Right. Cool.
I'm listening.
Yes, man. It's more like a cult reason. Like I said, it's about
just a lifestyle, like a lifestyle of just learning how to be a teacher, a provider, a king, queen, anything that's on a higher tone.
Okay, so the 5% nation is oftentimes referred to as like the nation of gods on earth. The nation of gods in earth. So the gods are the men and the earths are the women because why is the women the earths?
Well, you gotta think about like as in like Mother Nature.
Yeah.
You got Mother of Time. Am I right?
Yes. Well, it
Mother.
depends because they also say father time, but that is because of sexism and the patriarchy.
Exactly. And then understand as well, like when they say God, you gotta understand it's metaphorically. It's not saying like you're the most high God. It's just saying you're the God within you. The God spirit lives within you.
I think that is probably the most interesting part of the 5%ers is the idea that you, as an entity, myself, I am God, and I am God walking on this earth.
Exactly.
And I think that that's probably what a lot of people have the biggest problems with. Would you like to explain?
Well, in that sense, like you said yourself, you said God, you're a living God and a vessel on earth. That's the thing. You realize that you are you are the creation that you are making in front of you, like as in manifestations. You are a walking, speaking tongue. You can speak life itself. When God said, "Let there be light," that was a verse. That was first a vision that He first saw, and then He made it into life. So let's just say if I say, "Hey, I want to go to the store," well, first you have to think it and process, and then you spoke it into existence and brought it into life itself. So that's how you become that God on earth. You got to realize that you are mainly all your decisions. It's just like rolling the dice. You make the decision, you making your choices, and you got to stand up for that.
So I want to double back to the idea that you are a preacher's kid. So like, how was it when you told your family that you wanted to convert away from Christianity and follow a new path of spirituality?
Well, see, at the same sense, how I go by it is I have all understanding. I know all is one. So it's just like as long as you have that standard or that structure behind knowing that they all has a universal teaching, then that's about it really, because I don't try to just debate with people and try to say, oh, my religion is better than yours or this religion is better than that, because they all have the same teachings. It just depends on how much you want to go in your depths.
I like that.
First lesson on the 5% teaching, it says, who is the original man? The answer is the original man is the Asiatic black man.
It's a powerful thing at a young age, learning about yourself.
We are not just children of slaves, you know what I mean? The original man is the father of civilization.
I feel like the mathematics gave brothers like high self-esteem, you know what I mean? It just gave you a different outlook on life. On life, when you heard the black man was God, you was like, what? The black man is God. And he was like, your chest got poked out. You're like, yeah, it's real.
Made you responsible.
Yeah, and that wisdom and knowledge was why we ended up, who we are.
A whole new outlook.
People would say, why did you go off track, Rizzo? You got knowledge of self. I had mental freedom, but I didn't have economic freedom.
Okay, so let me just give and preface a little bit more background. So the 5% Nation is a black nationalist movement, and it's influenced by Islam. It was founded in 1964 in Harlem, and it was brought to Manhattan, New York by Allah the Father, who is previously known as Clarence 13X, who worked with, I want to say, Malcolm X.
Yeah, student.
Yes. And his original name is Clarence Edward Smith. What information do I not know?
Oh, well, what information you do not know is, first I have to say that anybody, what's the difference between the 5% Nation and the Islam is, like you said, Clarence X 13 is the founder. And Nation of Islam, you have W.D. Fard Muhammad, which is, he supposed to have been, if I can quote properly, I can't, forgive me if I don't know the guy's name. Somebody supposed to went up there to the Caucasus Mountains, and
you talking about Yaqub? Yeah, hold on. Actually, we can go ahead and talk about Yaqub and his origin story. Go ahead and finish talking about it.
In that sense, when we came to the conclusion of seeing that the Caucasus,
The Caucasus Mountains.
yeah, Caucasus Mountain, which has the Caucasian race of people. We know what happened in that mountain, y'all.
Everybody don't know. Okay, I got you. So essentially, there are superior races that run the earth, and there are 3 races that live within the earth, right? So essentially, the two of the 3 decided to swap like daughters in order to marry into each other's families in order to create peace amongst the colonies within earth. And each family bore a son. So one of them was righteous and one of them was immoral. And the one that we're talking about is the immoral one. That's Yaqub. That's the one who is, I guess, has the longest lasting legacy. So Yaqub is the one, he went to school on earth, and he studied and he got the name the big head scientist because his head was fat as fuck. Right, fat headed motherfucker. So after he studied on earth, he decided that he hated black people because of the way that they bullied him and taught and treated him. So he decided to genetically engineer white people. And he did this through breeding. Right? So the myth goes, or the story goes, that he would take the lightest of a man and a woman and he would breed them for 600 years, mixed in with albino black people. And they said mosquitoes and little dog, little wolf,
monkeys, everything.
Yeah, and they put all them together and created the Neanderthals and the white people, the Caucasians.
They had the melanin E, and they I think they had a melanin E, and we got melanin, and that melanin E supposed to stand for like a hybrid breed, which is like animal. Yeah, animal like DNA. So that's what that's coming about.
Okay, so essentially the breed of people that Yaqub made ended up rebelling against him, and he left them up there on the Caucasus Mountains.
Okay.
So they say. And then they was up there for a while, just barbaric, just running them up.
I think, quote me if I'm wrong now, didn't, I want to say, who went up there in the mountains and they sit up there for a few days, and then Jesus.
That's no Moses.
Now to bring it back to reality terms, when Moses went up there to the mountain, guess who was up there? Them white people.
The Caucasus, and that's how the stories intertwine. So they be saying that Moses is the one who brought the Caucasians off the mountain and gave them the ability to act civilized. He taught them how to dress and how to bathe. But that's through like the biblical ideology. So through the historical ideology, they said that it was the Moors. Either way, they said it was a black person who went up there to the Caucasus Mountains and educated them.
Yeah, it's very well true. And that person, like, again, look it up, W.D. Fard Muhammad. That was one of the founders. He was the first creation. Look it up. And after that, it's gonna be Elijah Muhammad. He had got his teaching from W.D. Fard Muhammad.
Okay.
And that's how that came along and passed down.
The origins of the Caucasian explained. The Caucasian was created by our ancient ancestor known as Yaqub, as well as his team of scientists. In the science experiment to create the Caucasian, they used the DNA in the blood of an albino black man and woman, as well as the DNA in the blood of mosquitoes, muskrats, dogs, as well as monkeys and other different types of animals and insects. These first created Caucasians walked on all fours and had hair covering their entire bodies. These first created Caucasians also had tails. After the success of the experiment to create the Neanderthal or the Caucasian, the Neanderthal or the Caucasian was then banished to the Caucasus Mountains, where they lived in the caves of the Caucasus Mountains for a period of about 2,000 years. And during the period of time where the Caucasian lived in the Caucasus Mountains, they engaged in a very barbaric animal type of lifestyle, where they engaged in incest, cannibalism, bestiality, as well as many other different types of things. Because remember, this is a newly created people who are mainly animal-based. The Caucasian was then taken out of the Caucasus Mountains by Akhenaten and the Moors, The story of Akhenaten and the Moors taking the Neanderthal or the Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains is told in Helios Biblios, aka the Holy Bible, under the name of Moses, where Akhenaten or Moses takes the Caucasian from the Caucasus Mountains and then gives them the commandments, which is essentially how to be a human 101, or a basic understanding of morality, because you must understand these are animal people. So the Moors gave them these commandments in order to teach them at first to be civilized. The Moors then brought the Caucasian or the Neanderthal into society and taught them how to be civilized. They taught them how to stand up straight, how to walk on 2 feet, how to speak a language, how to bathe, how to take showers. Quite literally, they taught these animal people how to be humans. Note and understand that prior to the existence of the Caucasian, this planet was only populated by melanated people. And these melanated people had a vast variety of civilized and highly advanced societies that went all around the world. These highly advanced people had knowledge of space travel, how to build pyramids, how to heal and regenerate organs using just sound. These highly advanced people who lived in the ancient times, who created the Caucasian, would also be known as our ancestors, aka black people.
Okay, so now that they have an understanding behind like the backstory and the creation story of how the white devil came to be, I wanted to talk about why people have a problem with it. Right. So in the story, and this is my personal thoughts, this is something that I absorb. I love the idea. I really love the idea of seeing the black man as a god, right? The most powerful entity. And it lines up with the stories and the truth behind the Eve gene, that the first creation on earth was a woman or a group of women that came together and starts it. So you can see parallels with that in science. I think my problem with it is the eugenics. It's like eugenics in reverse, especially with him like breeding, because that's, you know what eugenics is, don't you?
Break it down for the one that don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So essentially, eugenics is a scientific study that is way outdated, but it is the study to be able to, I guess, create and control race. So, especially in America and Germany, different European cities where they would justify science as a way to say that black people were inferior and white people were superior, and in this story it shows it in the inverse.
So even when you say science, you know, that comes down to spirituality really, and the periodic table, and really in that same sense of me saying that is black is magic, black power. We are the ones that they are studying. We are the ones that has the melanin. We are the gods. Women or woman womb has the universe. And if you don't believe that, that's why everything comes through a woman first.
That's true. And I think that's another thing that really stands out about the 5%ers is the fact that they don't look down upon women. So you see that a lot with the Nation of Islam. They've had a lot of issues with women. Would you like to talk about that?
Well, for one, you got to think about it. Like, when it comes down to the Nation of Islam, if you got multiple wives, let's take the religion out of it and let's be realists. If you have multiple women in a home, you are not doing nothing but making them compete, and you having a house full of slaves. Why be a slave when you're supposed to be a goddess or a god? You're supposed to have that freedom. So that's the whole point of being that 5%er. You don't have to go by the discipline and the guidelines that they go by.
Okay. So let's go in more in depth to this 5%er ideology. So who are the 5%ers, and what about the other 95% of the world?
Well, in my knowledge, I could say that the 5%er is the one that knows, and the 85% are the one that are just watching.
Okay. I did the research. So the term 5%er refers to the movement or belief that only 5% of the people understand God and consider the black man as superior, leaving the other 85% as slaves, and the other 10% are the elite conspiracy that rules the world.
Yes, ma'am.
I can see validity to it, but do you really think that it's only 5% of the entirety of this fucking planet that's just out here zombie NPC like?
No, I feel like I said, when you break down that percentage, you got to think about it. Comes down to the ones that say, "Hey, I'm woke. I know it all. I know everything." Then you got the one that sit back in the cut and be like, "I know something, but I'm scared to stand up on my own." And then you got the another percent of people that walk around clueless and don't know it all. And they just going by what they're being taught and what other people's stories is. And that's how I found my route on my own, is because I want to have my own story instead of living through somebody else.
I like that.
There's a philosophy that says 85% of the people on the planet are followers. 10% of the people on the planet are creators or leaders, and 5% of the people are observers. So when you got 85% of the people who are willing to follow, the 10% who are able to create something are going to capitalize off of that, and the 5% are usually the ones who are assassinated or shunned or discredited because they can see everything that's going on. And they would ruin it all for the 10%. So the reason why it's so easy to do that is because people are willing to be led.
Okay, this is a personal question to you. So when you hear the phrase, the black man is God, what does that mean to you?
The black man is God. 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 The black man is God.
That just only made me think about how we all came from one race, and it's just black. Like, you go back to anything, like you go back to the before the atoms even just burst, you're gonna see space is black, bottom of the ocean is black, the first race black. That's how you know it's God. Like, black is God itself. So black is God. So how does it correlate to the black man being God, being the divine? Well, all I can say is that in that sense, I can say that when we come down black being the divine, it's just that we're just created to being like that. Okay. You know, that's the simplest way I could put it. Yeah. It's just we're created to be like that because of our ancestry. You can go back to our Egyptian roots. You can go back to Hoodooism. You can go back to even to the pharaoh, that they had making modern day stories about black people. Right now, to this day. To this day. I love that. So I want to swap the topics for a second because I've been hearing a lot about supreme mathematics, and I find it to be very interesting. So I wanted to know, how does the 5% incorporate the supreme mathematics into their belief system? Okay, yeah. In that sense, you got to understand that before there even was letters, there was numbers. Right. Or symbols. So even you come down that sense, like we see angel numbers, that could be code, that could be broke down to supreme mathematics, your periodic table, knowing how to do chemistry. And you got to realize that science itself is proven spirituality, and unproven spirituality is a myth. You know what? I like that because I was actually saying something differently. I think that people, when they think of God or they think of the divine, they think of like the spirituality, like the part that cannot be explained. And what they fail to realize is that there is math behind the works of God. There's science behind the works of God. So there has to be something to elevate or to be able to prove and see the way that he communes and the way that he moves. So I think that people often forget that, like, you're not going to explain everything. But my question still stands. What the fuck is supreme mathematics? What they do?
Now, the supreme mathematics is key to understanding yourself on a deeper level as well, because supreme mathematics is a science that comes from numerology as well as gematria. And through understanding the supreme mathematics, you'll understand yourself, the universe, and existence itself on a deeper level. Now, number 1, knowledge, the accumulation of facts through observing, learning, and respecting. Knowledge is the foundation of all in existence, for it must be known in order to make it manifest. Knowledge is the light given off by our sun, which is the foundation of our solar system, also the original man, who is the foundation of Allah's family. Knowledge equals sun equals the original man. Number 2, wisdom. Wisdom is the wise words being spoken, or to speak knowledge. Wise dome, meaning a wise mind, and act according to it. Wisdom is water, or the vital building block of life. Wisdom is the original woman, because through her cipher, aka her womb, life is continued. It is also a reflection of one's knowledge, and is shown and proven by the moon being a reflection of the sun's light, aka knowledge. Knowledge plus the reflection of knowledge equals wisdom. 1 plus 1 equals 2. Wisdom equals the moon, which equals the original woman. Number 3, understanding. Understanding is that which shows and proves the completion of knowledge and wisdom, man, woman, and child. Understanding is a clear mental comprehension. It is the original child, which is the star. The highest form of understanding is love, the bond between man and woman, or knowledge and wisdom. Understanding equals the star, which equals the original child. Number 4, culture and freedom. Culture is one's way of living, meaning one's language, wisdom, and customs, ways, and actions. Freedom is to have a free dome, or to lack restraints. The original man's culture is Islam, I, self, Lord, and Master, freedom, justice, and equality, which is peace.
Man, like I'm telling you, the supreme mathematics is just knowing what is to be, like what is life itself, like 666, the 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, 6 protons.
Well, the Christians gonna say that's the mark of the beast.
Well, how's that the mark of the beast when that goes back to time back in what? How can I say when let me get right, y'all.
Take your time, let the Lord use you. Why are you thinking on this? It also reminds me when you was talking about the 6 electrons, 6 neutrons, and the 6 protons, and that equates to 666, the mark of the beast. Now, that is something that the Mormons, the Church of the Mormons, use to justify as to why black people won't get into heaven. And I think that is very telling of itself, because you can see how this number repeats itself and has different meanings for different people. The Mormons believe that black people are descendant of Moses through Ham, the son that he cursed, and that because they're cursed that they are black and they're meant to be slaves. So like you're saying, with this ideology, it's flipped, and that is the reason as to which black people are supreme, because of the melanin.
Yeah, right. That goes back to that 666. So I thank you for like refreshing my memory as well, because that 666 does go back to that melanin, and it goes back to even to the Big Bang, like you said, the atoms. Like you gotta realize we have that in ourselves, and that goes back to that spirituality, like I said, like as above, so below.
So okay, what's so special about melanin? What do the melanin do that make us so powerful?
Well, that goes back to history itself, like back in our DNA, like that's 666 is stardust. It's like black stardust or something like that, and it goes back to really the first being.
That's beautiful. I want to be the first being, or I am the first being. Yeah, I like that.
Well, we all over now. You want to know where God at? We all over. Black man God. We all over the face of this planet Earth. We got a lot of black men, women, and children walking the planet Earth, don't know who they are. That's why we losing. But of it. Our greatest weapon is the mind, that 7.5 ounce brain that we possess. And our direct descendants being of the Creator himself. Do you know the power that you possess within you, brother? No, you don't know, because no one ever told you who you were. We were niggers, coons, and everything but a human being. Until the Honorable Elijah Muhammad came, I remember we was Negro, Belated, African American, all type of individuals. We didn't know who the hell we was. But it's not even about religion anymore. It's about how you living. It's about how you thinking. Because life, see, the black man is a sustainer of life. The whole key, brother, to me is, how can you sustain life? How can you make it increase? How can you make life better? In this country, in this world, what we are taught on how to create and invent things to destroy life. The black man has to be the giver of life, the sustainer of life, make life better for the human family on the planet Earth. That's our mission. So we instill that into our children the best we could.
So, do you think that with the 5%ers that there might be a chance that a lot of y'all niggas might be blackwashing a lot of the information that y'all be passing through. Cause okay, hold on, before you cut my throat open, okay? Cause the white people, they said that y'all is inherently racist and that they not animals. They human beings. They bleed red blood just like you bleed red blood.
So as promised, I'd elaborate on the NOI, the Nation of Islam. So from the Nation of Islam came a group called the Nation of Gods and Earths, or the 5% Nation. What they believe is excessively racist to the extreme. They are not Muslims. They call themselves Muslims, but they believe that 85% of the world are animals. All white men are Satan. We're just demons. We're monsters. We're not even humans. They say that we were created by a scientist, a black super scientist named Yaqub 6,000 years ago, as slaves, basically, and we revolted against our masters, so they exiled us to Europe and Asia, and to live in caves there. I mean, this is their crazy story. Anyways, 85% of the world are uneducated animals, and all white men are devils, and black men are gods. Now, they say that 10% of the world are the elite, and that elite know the truth, know that black man is God, and want to suppress black man. That's why Africa is the way it is, being used as a resource continent. Now, on top of that, they say that the leftover, that's 10%, 85%, the leftover 5% are the 5% nation, and it's incumbent upon them to teach the world the truth and guide the black man to become gods on earth. I mean, this is some really crazy stuff, and I would like you to know. I almost got into a fist fight at work, like 5 years ago, with one of them, because he was insulting me and getting ridiculous and getting up in my face, and like trying to fight me. So, I mean, we didn't fight, but excessively racist. I didn't know they existed until that. I met him. He said, "Oh, you're a Muslim. I'm a Muslim too." I said, "Oh, okay, cool. You want to go pray? I just got done praying. You want to go make your prayer?" And he says, "No, I don't do that." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then he went outside and smoked some pot instead. So, they're not Muslims. They call themselves Muslims. They named cities in the United States after cities in the Middle East, like New Mecca, New Jerusalem, New Medina, and stuff like that. And it's just really crazy. It's a psychotic nation of people, and it's very small, but they do exist. And it's a little knowledge on what happened to the Nation of Islam and their sub-branch. They exist. They still are around. And people follow this. It's like the KKK for black folks. Anyways, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That's your information for the day.
Yep.
And what I would tell them is go back to your history then. Like, who's your grandfathers and what they go back to? And you're going to go back to the Caucasian Mountain. And black people were the first things on earth. We was the ones that found Europe. We was the ones that was already migrating around the whole earth. Already knowing about North America. How you think they was already knowing about plantation?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like we've been here. The Moors been here, the black race been here, and we're just the ones.
That's for real. Blackwashing is like the practice of replacing a traditionally white character or a role with a black person or a black character. And just like we were talking about Moses on the mountaintop, and we were talking about how he was black, and a lot of the male sapiens, they would argue with me and they would tell me that Moses was not no black man. He was white and he had blue eyes and straight hair. Yeah.
But they can't pull it up because even around that time, David Farr Muhammad was one of the first breed of white, mixed race child that come out here that were teaching the Nation of Islam. So like, if you think about that, when it come down to Yaqub, over time, what happened? The black broke down to the light skin, with the brown skin broke down to light skin broke down to the white skin. So what are they saying? They basically are nothing but
diluted black.
Diluted black.
Okay, so here's another question. How many people do you know that support your ideology and see life the way that you see it?
I say I know about a select few people because it's a really a hard understanding to know when it comes down to being a 5% nation, especially when you saying that you are a God. Like, people sit there and say, "Oh, how would you do that about God? That's an abomination." But if you look at things from a spiritual point of view and a metaphorical point of view, you'll realize like spirit live throughout you. I mean, live through you. Um, and that's just with it. Even when you pray, when you calling out these different sayings and calling out to Jesus and all that, you are trying to call on these spirits to live through you.
Okay, valid. So when you tell people this ideology, how do they react to it?
Well, a lot of people they be having brain farts and they just be sitting there just like yeah, it makes sense. And but then same sense, people gonna believe what they believe because some people think that you're reaching, but it's all about how you bring it down to earth, really.
I think that a lot of people are so brainwashed or programmed to the notion of Christianity that they can't see anything outside of it.
Well, even in that sense, we gotta realize Christianity was started after I think war. Like it's some type of war had happened and it symbolizes for death. So it's like, and then when you go in that sense to symbolize the death, then that goes to the cross. And when you say a cross, you go back to that sense of even breaking that down into knowing that a cross represents a tree, and that's the root meaning of a cross, and that lets you know that they've been hanging niggas on trees for the longest. So at that point, if you claim you're the Christian, then you're just believing in a system that you was basically forced to believe for years. So either you could just go back to your roots and try to just be a spiritualist, which we all are, and just go with that.
The 5% is the rich poor, is the poor righteous teachers of the planet, and 85% is the mystery God believers and the slaves to the mental death and power, and the ones easily led in the wrong direction and hard to be led in the right. And the 10% is the rich bloodsuckers of the poor. So those are like the ones that pretty much run things in government. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's where too a lot of people are saying that 5%ers think that all white people are the devil.
Nah.
That's not what it is.
Nah. What it is the natures. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's natures. There's a devil nature and there's a godly nature. Black people can be devil as well, which makes them the worst kind of devil, because anything other than its original state is the worst kind of its being. You know what I'm saying? If it's within your nature to be devil and you acting out accordingly, then that's okay, because that's what you're supposed to be. But if it's within your nature to be godly and you acting devil, you're the worst kind of devil.
So we keep on talking about the Nation of Islam and the 5% Nation, and we briefly spoke about it earlier when you said that you felt like the Nation of Islam was too strict. But what are like the major differences between the 5% Nation and the Nation of Islam? Because the 5%ers come from the NOI.
Well, first you gotta realize that everybody really know the truth, but they say it for the longest. And I know some of the Muslims, they may be mad, but it is the truth. But research it yourself. The Muslim is the one that sold people over on the ship anyway.
Are you talking about the internal slave trade?
Yeah. They're the ones that did that because it was now quote me if I'm wrong. I think it was the Sudan people, and they basically like the rich group of people. They came together and threw away the southwest of their slave community, which was the poor. And and that's how they got captured. Really, the white people that came over there and said, "Oh yeah, we're gonna do a little trade with y'all. Here's a little money. We all rich. Okay, well we're gonna give y'all the poor trash." And that's how that came about being. That's how they got over there to America so fast. Yeah, we'll catch it by our own people anyway.
So, but what is the difference between the NOI? Okay, so okay. We all know that the Nation of Islam crumbled after Malcolm X realized that Elijah Muhammad was a pedophile.
Right.
Is that another reason why the 5%ers broke away from the Nation of Islam? Because that is around that time period, 1965.
Well, in that sense, yes, and you gotta realize what I just said just too. Like, we realized that these was the ones that traded us in. Yes, they came and taught us discipline, vegetation, and how to be in all that sense. But like, it's like shaking hand with the devil. Like you basically just sitting there and just saying like, oh well, I know you did me wrong, but I'ma still be cool with you, even though you betrayed my people.
So, do you think that Muslim being a part of Islamic culture and religion is that really the true religion of the black man?
No. Me personally, I feel like all the religion came to being. I feel like all the religion came to being. Going to use history is when I personally say this is my conspiracy. This is my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I personally feel like that all that came in when the Pangea effect came in, because what we was all is one.
Mm-hmm.
Man, one is all. So I feel like it was just one religion. And then when God said, "Hey, I'm gonna split all the earth," when God said, I'm gonna split all the earth," that when people start speaking this language, then that's when you come down to 12 lost tribes, and then that's when you come dividing with all the different religion. And once you put religion in there, it causes division, and that breaks down the foundation. That's why you got Christians, Baptists, Methodists, and all the different beliefs in that same sense.
That actually do make sense. What you're saying is after the continental shift, a lot of people were believing similar religions, but when they went to different parts of the earth, they started seeing and saying things differently. But they all different names, same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Like that's why you got people praising the golden calf. You got some people praising Mary, because everybody had started dividing, and like that's like playing the whispering game. If I whisper something to you right now, you tell you and whisper around the whole room, eventually you ain't gonna get the same thing that you just told the first person.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be something similar, but it's not gonna be the original.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that.
And I wish to say, as I am beholding such beauty in front of me, both black men and black women, that one of the greatest gifts and one of the greatest divine messages that was given to our people to awaken us and bring us back into the full knowledge of self is that we are part and parcel of the Godhead. That as you look into the face of every black man, and as we look into the face of every black woman, we are looking into the face of God Almighty.
As a black person, do you identify as a Muslim?
No, man. I don't consider myself a Muslim. But one thing that we have to realize is we gotta know the definition of these words that we're saying. Like being a Muslim is basically saying you are a shepherd of the Lord. That's basically saying that you is a follower of God.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, when it comes down to just saying I'm a Muslim, no, in that sense. But yes, I am a shepherd in the Lord's eye, because I walk in the faith of God.
So in what ways do the 5%ers aid the advancement of the black community? Like what role do y'all play?
I think, be honest with you, quote me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure they was part of the Black Wall Street.
Really?
I believe so. Quote me if I'm wrong now.
I can't quote you because I don't know. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, because one a Black Wall up there in Detroit. Detroit, quote me if I'm wrong, or Harlem, somewhere around that area.
No, it wasn't in New York. It was definitely up north, but
One said Detroit though. But then same in that sense, yeah, I think the Muslims did all that work though.
Okay.
The Black Panthers, yeah.
That actually does. Okay, I will do my research and I will get back to you on that. Other than that, like maybe like the modern 5%ers, do you feel like their goal is to wake people up?
Oh yeah, because like I go back and say again, the 5%ers are like righteous teachers. Like their whole thing, they're not. When you become a 5%, they're not necessarily saying like I'm a Muslim. They're just saying that you're believing in the divine God. You're believing in the supreme mathematics. You're believing that you're a walking vessel of God itself.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a mentor?
What I do is I go on Allah School of Mecca.
Mm-hmm.
Allah School of Mecca, and that's why I go for my little research and listen to them.
You got books and shit too?
Yeah, I actually have a book with me.
What? Go ahead and put the people on to what books. Come on, unzip the book. He got the book in the fanny pack, y'all. Too legit to quit. He keep the word and the gospel with him.
Yeah. Here's the book. That's the cover. That's one of the books. Yeah.
What's the name of it?
And it is the supreme lesson of the God and the earth. And you have the man, woman, and the child. Just like some people say aunt, or you could say ain't, but in that same sense as well. And when you see the 7, that stands for G, as in like the 25 letters of alphabet.
26.
Okay, 26. See, look at the 26 letter alphabet, and that stands for G, and they go back to the supreme mathematics and the lessons as well.
7 is a powerful number. 7 represents completion. Okay.
And the letter G.
I didn't even think about it like that. I haven't gotten into numerology yet, but I think it's a very interesting thing to look more into. So, what other do you feel like your idea is like your way of looking at the divine is misunderstood by the public?
No, not really, because when it even come down to religion based, we gotta realize like it's all opinionated. It's all really opinionated. You can sit here and debate on religion all day and say I'm right and this right and this right, but as long as y'all come to a common ground and understanding, you realize that we're all saying the same thing.
That's real too. So when you started looking more into like the book that you've been learning and reading through, what stood out to you? What did you start to pick up on?
One thing I can say that I pick up on is just knowing the supreme facts. Because in this book as well, it lets you know the total of the earth and the miles, or it lets you know what made the black devil. Man, what is the white devil? My fault. What is the white devil? And knowing that you have to go back and learn your math. Like, if you want to know the supreme mathematics and know what's about the cosmos and all that, you have to know your math. You have to know ideology. You have to know all that deal.
So what do I get when I do all this mathematical stuff? Because that helped. I'm not TT slow.
Yeah. Really. If you think back into the ancient pharaoh, well, would you say pharaoh? Would you call them pharaoh? I'm just say Egyptians. When they built the Egyptians and all that, and you see how
the pyramids.
When they built the pyramids and all that, and you think about how they got them set on a certain coordinates, and you wonder why is that, and then that goes back into like really what's out there in space itself, and then that goes back into y'all need to look this up, Planet X.
What's Planet X?
Planet X is supposed to be where the original black people came from.
Oh, we finna talk about the Anunnaki now.
Now we going to the Anunnaki, and this is why you have to learn your supreme mathematics, and it goes that far in depth because you have to know all these compasses and knowing how to really just work that.
Who is the Anunnaki and what their job description?
Oh man, the Anunnaki is where the melanin gene come from, really. The melanin gene come from, and the Anunnaki is supposed to be my teaching is basically the black gods, like the 122 chair or something like that.
Yeah. So like the Anunnaki, they're supposed to be like extraterrestrials, and they've been seen on Earth thousands of years ago, thousands of times. They're depicted in the pyramids. They're depicted in the pyramids in Egypt as well as in the Mayans as well. That's in Mexico for the niggas that don't know their directions. It's in South America, excuse me. So
we gotta realize too, we are descendants of that too. Like that's why us black people are so important. That's why we are the black gods and goddesses, because we came from that. And that's why you see a lot of them people that's in the pyramid, you see them praying to the sun god or Ra or Amon-Ra. And people gotta realize too, when you saying amen, you're praying to Amon-Ra, which is the sun god. And then you going back in that depth of knowing that you go on the Ra, and our Horus. And then you got the moon. You see what I'm saying? Like it goes that far in depth where you have to really understand the Bible. You got to understand really all teachings to even understand that even to the point that it comes down to the fallen angels as well.
So is this like would you say that this is kind of resemblant of like the mystery schools of Egypt and stuff? This is the type of information?
Yeah, it is the science temple. It is the science temple itself. That's why that's what it is, the 5%ers is. They believe in the science. They believe in science and believe that black is science. And that's in like chemistry. You look up the word chemistry go back to black Kemet, and that is black magic.
Yeah, and Kemet is the original name of Africa for also the niggas who don't know. Um, I love this. I think it's a very number one. The purpose of this episode is not to persuade anyone to join a religion. It is to give more information, more context, and more background to the different spiritual practices in which Black people participate in. Because all niggas are not Christian, and I feel like when more information like this is spread out, people will get an understanding, and they won't label everything as evil or demonic or downright stupid.
See, even when you say in that sense, I don't even believe in like, I don't know. I could be wrong, but me personally, I don't believe that there's a hell itself because like, even y'all want to go to the Bible and believe that Jesus died for your sin or a Savior has came.
It's only been one day after Easter, Mac. Don't do it to him, baby.
Man, look, y'all gotta know y'all history and know that the letter J, and everybody want to argue me about it.
That's right. J did not exist in the alphabet during the time in which Jesus walked.
But they want to argue about that though. But if you go back to history itself, then history do not lie. So prove that letter J.
The thinking of the people, they saw that in the year 8,400 of this present cycle, a man would be born named Yakub, born with a determined idea to make a new people on this earth, a new people that would be strange and different from any people that had ever been on this planet before. And that this people that he would make would rule with a contrary civilization that would wreak havoc on the earth. And when they brought their findings back to Allah, the judge, he looked at it. He could have said, we don't want this. He said, let it be. Why are you going to allow all this suffering? Because it's going to manifest human nature to its fullest, and it will test the people under evil to see whether evil is as productive in their lives as good. So that at the end of this experiment, each of them will know that evil is not the way that they should go, but you must choose righteousness. And the only way you will choose righteousness voluntarily is that you must suffer enough under evil. But the evil that you see in operation, ultimately you must come to know that it springs from yourself. And then not only will you call for the destruction of this evil world, but you will call for the destruction of the evil in yourself that this is the manifestation of. Then you are ready to be made whole, perfect. Yakub was not wicked. Yakub was born with a determined idea. Stop right there. Determined, past participle.
Shout out to the slaves.
Yeah, shout out to the slaves. You feel me? Shout out to Harriet Tubman.
Shout out to she's a real nigga.
Shout out to the real niggas.
And shout out again to all those people who hate my guts.
Y'all are doing a justice and an effort to the world. Keep breaking these men down one at a time.
You are obsessed and sick.
And we are back with the Big Black Shout Out, the blackest shout out in the world. The Big Black Shout Out is an opportunity to help circulate the Black dollar back into our communities and for audience members to explore Black-owned hidden gems. So, Mac, who would you like to shout out today?
Well, I would like to shout out my guy Stevie Hendricks in Jackson, Mississippi. You can look him up on Facebook and you can look him up on Instagram, Stevie Hendricks 857. I believe that's his name. He's the best tattoo artist out there, I'm telling you.
So what's his tattoo style?
In what sense you mean that?
You know, some people get American traditional, some motherfuckers like tribal ink, some people like realism. What his shit look like?
If I could say, I say tribalism.
Okay, that's lit, cause you know some niggas they be itching for that motherfucking needle. That's their form of therapy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, y'all niggas need to go to real therapy and leave that needling and chill on.
Man, it's another outlet, it's just a way of expression, that's all.
Well, where can we find the tattoo artist at so we can get tatted up all 2023?
Stop $2. Stop, Fabo. Barbara. Tied it up. 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 Tied it up.
Well, be honest with you, I don't know exact address, but I do know he have a festival going on from April the 20th to April the 24th, and I'll try to get that out there as quick as possible. I can.
Well, shout out to him. Shout out to all the black tattoo artists and all the motherfuckers that actually can tattoo on black skin. There's inherent racism within the tattoo community. And I also wanted to shout out a black-owned weed business in Starkville. So shout out to Hemp World, located on 911 Lynn Lane in Starkville, Mississippi. It is a black-owned marijuana business, and they sell flower, they sell bud. But baby, I went in there and got me a weed slush. Have you ever had a little weed slush yet?
I had weed Kool-Aid.
I'm scared. Where they do that at?
Man, I had got that from out of state.
Well, shout out to the motherfuckers who making weed Kool-Aid. I gotta see what that shit hitting on. She had a cherry slush, and then had a blue raspberry lemonade slush, 100 milligrams. And I was just floating. I was actually talking to God while I was sipping it.
Now, it's possible now in deep meditation.
Okay. But praise God. If there's another black-owned business I wanted to shout out. So, again, if you own a black-owned business, or you know someone who owns a black-owned business and they ain't doing well and they need a shout-out, make sure you are emailing me at the Afrocentric Podcast. That's afrocentricpodcast@gmail.com. And we are back with the altar call here at the Afrocentric Word of Church and Life, giving back to the people. This here's a final segment of any podcast episode, and I'm just here to let my people know that I'm here, and I'm yet praying and hoping and fasting. I'm taking communion, and I'm actually out here getting baptized weekly on y'all behalf. And this here is just an opportunity for y'all to get your prayer on and let people know that we are here fasting for you. Today, I just wanted to send a heavenly shout out to Black China. You see, she has given her life over to Christ. And even Jesus said that when you give your life over to Christ, there are angels in heaven rejoicing. See, Black China has laced up her high top Pumas and she is running for Jesus. Yes, she is. She may have gotten sleepy, but she ain't never been tired. She may have been leaned out, but she never got tired. And the only thing China did was prove to the saints that the blood still works. We are also praying and fasting, and we hopping in our prayer closet for all the Louisville victims of the Louisville bank shooting that happened today, Lord. Bless their minds, Lord. Hide the bullets, Jesus. We don't need no more gun violence here in America. Yes. Amen.
Please forgive me for any sins in which I committed, those I know of and those I don't know of, Lord. Lord, please forgive me for beating this bitch ass today, Lord. Lord, please forgive me for thinking about beating her ass again, Lord. Please rebuke all these demons that's in this house, Lord. I pray unto you, Lord. Is that really necessary?
And we are back with the altar call here at the Afrocentric Word of Church and Life, giving back to the people. This here's a final segment of any podcast episode, and I'm just here to let my people know that I'm here, and I'm yet praying and hoping and fasting. I'm taking communion, and I'm actually out here getting baptized weekly on y'all behalf. And this here is just an opportunity for y'all to get your prayer on and let people know that we are here fasting for you. Today, I just wanted to send a heavenly shout out to Black China. You see, she has given her life over to Christ, and even Jesus said that when you give your life over to Christ, there are angels in heaven rejoicing. See, Black China has laced up her high top Pumas and she is running for Jesus. Yes, she is. She may have gotten sleepy, but she ain't never been tired. She may have been leaned out, but she never got tired. And the only thing China did was prove to the saints that the blood still works. We are also praying and fasting, and we hopping in our prayer closet for all the Louisville victims of the Louisville bank shooting that happened today, Lord. Bless their minds, Lord. Hide the bullets, Jesus. We don't need no more gun violence here in America. Yes. Amen.
In Jesus' name, stop her right now. Put her on her back for playing with you, Lord. Take her name out the Lamb's Book of Life. If she playing with you, Lord, in Jesus' name.
With the crystals, but I been back doing X. Got a Rolex on my wrist, this bitch cost by the carpet. Get these niggas a couple bands and hit your face and hit your chest. I was rolling out the pill, I should've never fucked the bitch. I got hoes, these niggas married, I don't let them go, they come through. I got fat and all of my diamonds, I spend a 9 on a pair of shoes. I don't even care who these niggas shot at, ain't nothing got murdered. I got some real killers, they'll kill a nigga, then go and shoot up the hearse. You think a nigga like me give a fuck about a nigga shooting up the church? I gotta take the shit over God, cause I'm a God on the earth.
Mac, I just want to take the time and thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you as well.
Thank you for spreading your knowledge and being open and honest with us about your belief system. So with this in mind, I wanted to give you an opportunity to leave the Black community with some parting words, something that they can hold on to.
Well, my thing is, my shout out to y'all Black people is, man, build y'all credit up. Straight up. Like, start, man, I don't mean it on no disrespectful way, is because you get you a credit union, and slowly build your credit up. I don't care if you can get nothing but a $500 loan at the credit union. Get that $500, get that, pay it back, keep flipping your money back and forth with the bank like that so they can trust you with more money. And when the more you do that, the bigger you can get your bigger loan. Eventually you can work for yourself, and then at that point you could bet all in on yourself.
That's beautiful. Yes, niggas, get your money up, not your funny up. Fuck you talking about. Hey, but thank you again for choosing to be Afrocentric. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. And for my listeners, thank y'all for choosing to be Afrocentric today. I just wanted to remind you all that Black lives do indeed still matter. Make sure that you are listening and protecting Black women and Black children. And remember that the only thing that you must do in this lifetime is be Black and die on that ass. And here at the Afrocentric podcast, baby, we're just civilized people having civilized conversations. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, did you know that?
When the KKK killed thousands of Black people while swearing to uphold Christian morality, we did not ask them to remove their robes. We did not call all Christians bigots. Do you see it? How we don't label all white men based on the sins of a few, do you see it? How we don't have to condemn a whole class of people based on the actions of some, do you see it? How all the names are different, how all the faces are different, how all the people are different, therefore, we should not condemn all Muslims for the radicalism of a group. If you want to persecute ISIS, go ahead, but to persecute ISIS is to persecute those that gave them power. To persecute those that gave them power is to persecute the U.S. government. Do your research. Islam is not synonymous with terror. It is literally submission, it is devotion, it is peace. Terrorism is actually forbidden, and jihad does not mean holy war. It means struggle, it means survival, it means standing face to face with everything that wants to put you in the ground and choosing to be alive. Do your research and stop listening to CNN. Stop trading humanity for hypocrisy. Stop staring at Muslims in the airport. Stop letting your fear drag you into ignorance. Stop supporting billionaire Republicans who want to scare you into murdering the innocent, and start supporting leaders who speak peace in their native tongue. Instead of burning down the mosque, burn down the walls around the pulsating muscle in your chest and realize that we all have one. And lastly, as the customary greeting goes, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Wa alaikum assalam, and upon you be peace. Do you see it?